Hey everyone, it's Pixelade here, and welcome back to the channel. I can't tell you how long it's been since my last Sims 4 discussion video, but I've been wanting to make this one for a bit, so I'm excited to finally bring it to you. Over the past several weeks, I've noticed a steady increase in interest for the upcoming life simulation game, Pixelade. This game, with no release date announced yet, has huge features confirmed. Those include, but aren't limited to, cars, bicycles, boats, an open world, weather including seasons, advanced intuitive build features, and so much more. The reason I mention this upcoming game is due to the fact that there's been a noticeably steady decrease in interest for Sims content, at least on my channel, since the new year, and Pixelade is promising many new features we've yet to see in The Sims 4 after over 5 years since launch. A few days ago, I asked you guys on my YouTube community page what essential base game features are missing from The Sims 4 that you'd like to see added in a future free patch update. I'll be selecting a handful of the top responses you upvote to be included in a discussion video coming sometime this week. Stay home and stay safe. Love you guys. I honestly don't even know where to begin. I've read through at least 50 of the top responses and want to include every single one, but that's just not possible unless you're okay with the video being over 2 hours long. I don't even know if I am. That just sounds like an editing nightmare. Okay, enough rambling. Let's jump into the discussion. Here is everything missing from The Sims 4. Please feel free to contribute to the discussion in the comment section below. I know for a fact we won't get to every topic in this video. We kick things off with a top comment from the girl with that face. They comment, "Realistically, I'm saying better babies, memories, interactions, and personality traits that will actually affect gameplay. Some things I'm seeing suggested, like horses, would most likely come in a pack, so those would be my 4 because I think they're the most achievable for a base game update right now," and I wholeheartedly agree. But before we go any further, I can already say that an improved infant or baby system is going to be a common suggestion with today's comments, and I don't disagree with that at all. It's been 5 years, like come on, babies shouldn't be an object at this point. Our Sims should be able to pick them up, place them down anywhere in the world that isn't just their own bassinet. Being able to grab a bottle from the fridge to feed them, similar to The Sims 2, and change their diapers on a changing table would be a huge improvement. And yes, these features should be added free of charge. We've had them in base games before, so why can't we have them this time around? If you don't already know, there is actually a memory system in The Sims 4 already, but it's kind of hidden and isn't talked about often. After taking in-game screenshots, navigate to the Screenshot Manager. You can select any screenshot, then write custom text to transform it into a memory. The mood of your Sim when that particular screenshot was taken is also recorded and shown with that memory. Another thing, you can reminisce on that memory in-game and it will put your Sim in the exact mood they were in when the screenshot or memory was captured. This is actually really useful. It's interesting, I'll say that, but it isn't as complex as I'd like it to be. In my opinion, memories in The Sims 2 were the best, and I'll tell you why. According to Sims Fan Wiki, memories in The Sims 2 are stored in a panel in the Sims Simology tab. There are positive and negative memories, and some memories can either be positive or negative depending on the Sim's aspiration or secondary aspiration. For example, knowledge Sims collect positive memories for being abducted by aliens, romance Sims collect negative memories for getting married. Sims can collect memories for events that happen to their relatives and may continue to do so even after death. It's this kind of depth that we just need to see in this game. Like, that's incredible. When The Sims 4 first launched, there was this whole campaign for weirder Sims. Do you guys remember? The tagline, "They're so smart, it's weird," was used over and over and over and over again, and it was just kind of like embedded in our brains. But I don't know what is so smart about these Sims. I just can't seem to figure it out. I mean, yes, they can multitask. I love that. I think that's amazing. But putting aside how smart these Sims are, whether you agree with that or not, they definitely don't have too much of a memory. It's exactly this kind of complexity I'm talking about. There was a big shift with memories in The Sims 3 though. According to Sims Fandom Wiki again, memories were introduced to The Sims 3 base game in patch 22, coinciding with the release of The Sims 3 Generations expansion pack. Before then, moodlets acted as temporary memories. Larger event moodlets last longer, such as a death or a divorce. Sad moodlets will make Sims cry every once in a while until the moodlet goes away. Events in a Sim's life are automatically captured and stored in the new scrapbook where they can be edited and shared. Oh my gosh, I loved that so much. You know, not many people played around with the scrapbook, but I actually liked it because I'm one of those people that loves the little tiny details on the Sims. Instead of using icons to represent memories, the in-game camera takes a snapshot of the memory and when enabled will notify what memory occurred. I've noticed many players turn this off, but it's actually a very interesting feature. Memories can also be captured manually. Any user-made memories require a picture taken by the player and will also require a title. If the camera is not on the same lot as the Sims in the active household who is receiving the memory will have a placeholder for the picture and a gray background. If the Sim receiving the memory is not in the active household, the memory will have a watermarked background depicting whether the memory is positive, neutral, or negative. Editing a memory provides a share function which can either upload the memory to the Sims 3 website or to Facebook as a status update. I used to do this all the time and annoy all my Facebook friends. Every single memory I would share on Facebook and they're just like, we don't care about the life of your Sims, stop posting this crap. Players who upload memories may get items from the store according to the number of memories uploaded. I remember that as well. All right, enough about memories, on to the next post. This one comes from Apple Core Eater. They post, I would like to see more life and little interactions. Number 1, traits that affect behavior, not just moodlets. More trait slots, something many have been asking for a long time. Number 3, an angry system. No more cheating and then being happy best friends within 2 hours. I want to see property vandalized by furious Sims. If emotions are the selling point, they should mean something. Exactly. Number 4, little animations between family members. If they hate someone, they'll get upset being around them. If they love their parents or whatever, running to greet them at the door. Number 5, teen runaways would love for kids to run away if they have bad family relationships. They can then go to the bin and will refuse to be re-merged with their original family. Number 6, a meaningful memory system such as that in The Sims 2 like we talked about earlier. Just more life. Things that make it more possible to play radically different stories. As different as our stories are and as different as our gameplay is, in a way, all of our gameplay is just so similar because we don't have these things. But wow, yes to all of this, seriously. Daddy Thanos, love the username by the way, comments, I just want Sims to stop standing around when you give them a task. My Sim had 1 hour until work, so I told them to clean the dishes, but instead she took 50 minutes to just stand there. Or when a Sim is eating, they don't sit down at the table, they will instead stand awkwardly. Yeah, this is definitely a big issue right now with The Sims 4 and Sims games in general. The dev team does a great job at trying to stay on top of glitches and bugs, but simulation lag seems to always creep its way back into every game after a new pack comes out. For those that do not know, simulation lag is when your Sim becomes idle during, before, or after a task or interaction. Time continues to pass, but they just stand there doing nothing. It's quite irritating, yes, but it usually is fixed some days or weeks after a new expansion pack is released. It does sadly come back eventually for a large majority of players though. The next comment comes from M. They write, I actually wrote up an answer to that survey that they gave us recently about how to create more realistic Sims that we want to play and thought I'd share my answer here. This one's a little long, guys, so grab the popcorn. To begin with literal issues, I think that the way male clothing meshes fit females actually looks glitchy and makes it very difficult to create tomboyish Sims without simply choosing the female clothing items that are the least feminine. In a similar vein, locking things such as makeup and accessories to all outfits would save a lot of time and make using the features more appealing to us. Additionally, when it comes to using filters, it's all very well and good being able to, for example, filter by pack, but the filter resets when you switch between cast sections and it makes it almost pointless because it takes more time to keep reapplying the filter than to just scroll through the thumbnails. And I know exactly what this person is talking about. On a more abstract level, creating the Sims that we want is difficult because in order to play with a personality that we want to use, picking the traits isn't sufficient. I understand that in any role-playing game, there's an element of imagination, but traits should exist to create Sims that behave in a way that drives their personalities. What they currently do is either offer benefits exclusive to the pack from which they came. For example, cat lover, self-absorbed, etc., or provide benefits to careers or skills which we as players can use to win easier, which doesn't really fit the point of The Sims. It feels as though there is no point in picking a trait such as jealous, whereas The Sims 3, for example, picking negative traits would result in moodlets and wishes, which were more influential in gameplay and created funny and interesting relationships between Sims. This could be improved outside of Create a Sim by increasing compatibility between aspirations, traits, and interactions between base game features and expansion packs. Yes, oh my gosh, this is literally the perfect explanation and the perfect paragraph, and one of the reasons I chose this, and this is actually one of the top comments as well. For example, updating the cookery aspiration for those with dine out or get to work to accommodate baking, or implementing a path which would, for example, enable you to go down either a baking/home cooking route or a professional chef route. Finally, I think that some of the features in the pet cast would be extremely useful in the Sim cast. I know that the wish for a color wheel for hair and eyes is a popular one among Simmers. I don't think any of these are actually beyond the capabilities of the Sims 4 engine or the Sims 4 dev team. I think that a full color wheel, open world, and improved babies are all things that would require a very dedicated amount of time and effort from a whole section of the team. It would be ideal, but probably not something that they would deem profitable. Given that whims already exist, as does a color wheel for hair and eyes, for example, it doesn't seem like an insane investment of resources to implement these soon. The meshes might be a time-consuming practice, but come on, that's practically a bug fix. Yeah, it is. But wow, this is like for sure the most detailed response I've read thus far, and there really isn't too much more to say about it. It's completely self-explanatory though. I could talk about how long personalities can be improved for days, literally. I don't want this video to be a million minutes long though, so we're just gonna jump right into the next post. It comes from Rena or Rena. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If I'm not, I apologize, but they comment, I like to see a lot, but I'm pretty sure 90% of what anyone says won't be in. Unfortunately, that could be the case. Aside from that, I want babies to not be objects, point blank, period. And giving children in general more stuff to do. I miss the days of teaching teens to drive, taking babies for a walk in their strollers, etc. I just want them to have personality, so I wouldn't feel like I've got to age them up to teens faster. Heck, I miss proms and high school graduations too. You know, I'd say proms, high school graduations, babies, toddlers, strollers, all that stuff can come with a future generations type pack, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't end up getting them at all. These are obvious base game features that should be introduced via patch, especially if they're rabbit hole events. Emphasis, guys, on the word should. Cat Mom comments, probably more in-depth cast personality building if that makes sense. Also, some kind of crush or attraction system. I don't like how romance has to go both ways. I think it'd be more realistic in a life simulation game to have crushes. No clue how they'd work though. Playor's comment is as straightforward as it gets. Robbers, firefighters, and police. There really is no excuse for not having these NPCs patched in for free at this point. Thankfully, with Discover University, repossessions were introduced, or I should say reintroduced since we've had them in previous iterations of the game, which is a step in the right direction, though I really hope that future NPCs aren't added with paid packs. Those are definitely additions that should be free of charge. KT on YouTube comments, being able to set relationships like cousin, stepmom, and nephew straight from cast would save a lot of time when you're trying to create a large family tree. Yeah, this too definitely does not seem like a hard addition for the developers. Mining Simmer and Z on YouTube comments, I feel that we just need more life and unpredictable events happening because the game is actually boring with the same things happening over and over again. I stopped playing because even with packs installed, the game is just so repetitive with what happens and the events it gives you, which makes it overall boring to play. The Sims 4 is a life simulation game with no life in it whatsoever. You have to buy packs to get any decent gameplay. We constantly get new features, but what we are really missing is events that happen to keep us engaged in playing. I'm sure EA wants us to keep playing, so what they need to do is focus on things to keep players engaged in the game and not have them disappear due to how boring and repetitive the game gets. I know I sound repetitive myself, but this is what made me lose interest in the game and needs to be addressed. Sorry, this was really long, and you shouldn't apologize at all. I wanted you guys to be completely raw raw and completely honest and just put your feelings out there. That's exactly why I wanted to make this video and why I want to make more discussion videos like this, because I really want to showcase your voice. You guys have such good opinions and great thoughts, and I really want to take a little bit from each of you and put it out into the world and hope that that could potentially be the reason why features come to the game at some future point. Scarlett Clayton on YouTube comments, baby strollers, more interactions with babies and toddlers such as teaching to walk and teaching to crawl, and customization for babies like clothes and hair, and possibly a trait exclusive to babies just like toddler ones, and a new playground equipment for kids, even if it has to be a stuff pack. Elena leaves multiple suggestions, commenting, I want to see an attraction system similar to but still unique from The Sims 2. I want turn-ons and turn-offs and unrequited love. I want Sims to have crushes or have the awkward experience of turning down Sims, and with this in mind, I'd like to be able to choose if my Sim responds positively or negatively with another Sim flirting with them. They then post again, last comment, I swear, I really want to have more options in CAS, especially for relationships. I want to be able to set Sims as grandparents, cousins, aunts, etc. And we did talk about this earlier. And just seeing it again really just goes to show how requested this is. And it's not even that hard of a feature to add, or at least it doesn't seem like it is. Not every family looks like that. Some people are raised by their grandparents or other relatives, and I'd love to see that choice from the get-go in CAS, and set significant others without marriage in CAS. Also, more recognition for step relatives would be appreciated. I don't think it's fair how a Sim can raise their step kid up until they're a young adult and suddenly they can autonomously flirt with their stepmom. Gross. I want those relationships to be remembered and valued. I just think there needs to be more family gameplay in general. Family reunions maybe? I had a great idea that they should have a photo book that your Sims can drop photos they take into. Okay, so similar to the scrapbook from The Sims 3. When you look at it, it could take you to a new UI screen where the player can flip through various photos and screenshots, kind of like The Sims 3 but not quite. And they can build relationships this way and get moodlets from them. Maybe photos can each have an emotion attached to them too, like looking at someone's grad photo would make you inspired, a wedding photo would make you flirty, and a photo of a performance would make you inspired. It was just an idea I had earlier and thought would be incredible. Oh my gosh, this is literally everything, guys. Everything missing from The Sims 4. Like, oh, I can imagine the game with all this stuff right now. I would want to play it so much more often. Also, apologies for the snoring in the background. My dog Sam is asleep right below my computer desk, and he is a very loud snorer. Ruby Master comments, 1. More CAS items. Whenever I make Sims, they always look the same, and it's kind of sad that a lot of people have to download CC. Number 2, personalities and more variety, not just adding like 2 traits. I mean like actual personalities. Number 3, once again, babies aren't objects. For example, teaching them to crawl. Number 4, activities for children. I love playing with families, and most of the time my kids wake up to go to school, do homework, and take care of their needs. For example, it might be fun if you could teach your kids to cook so they get a jump start on the cooking skill, or having like a kids club venue where your kids go to meet other children. Number 5, random little clutter items. No one really asked for this, but whenever I build a house with base game, it just has like 1 cup with pens on a desk and maybe some pots and pans in the kitchen. Lastly, I want to showcase a comment from the Queenston mentioning potential building additions into the game. She comments, builder here, I need the roof glitch solved. Columns, doors, and windows that can be placed anywhere with the Alt key. Yes, I agree, so much for that. Diagonal staircases, the possibility to have more than 1 window or door per tile to give doors more height, for example. Just these things would change the gameplay so much. There's a common occurrence with most of these comments: an improved baby system, better personalities for Sims, new activities for all ages, not just adults, and so much more. For example, toddlers, children, and elders need more activities exclusive and unique to just them. This video and the comments showcased are just the tip of the iceberg. The Sims 4 is a great game, don't get me wrong, but there is so much missing, so many essential gameplay elements that really make a strong base game foundation, many of which we've seen in the base game of previous Sims titles. Yes, each game is going to be different from the last, but players should not be paying for things we've seen years before at no additional cost. You're probably wondering why I titled the video Everything Missing from The Sims 4, despite not being able to showcase everything in one video, and the reason for that is to start a discussion with you guys. Tell me everything you think is missing in the comment section below. please be as open and honest as possible, of course without attacking the opinions of others. I'll be reading and responding to as many as I can and possibly include the top responses you upvote in a potential follow-up video. I'm gonna wrap things up here until next time, but if you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining, informative, give it a thumbs up and add it to your favorites playlist right here on YouTube. Click subscribe to become a supporter today and ding the bell next to the subscribe button to receive notifications for any type of future upload so you can be a part of the notification squad. I love each and every one of you to the moon and back. Until next time. So long, guys.